Welcome to Two Errors, One Mindset. This is the place for younger adults and parents who are ready to build a better life, starting with their thoughts.
I'm Solomon. I'm right here in the mess of it, trying to figure things out just like you. I'll share what's working now.
And I'm Michael. My job is simple: to coach you through the biggest challenges using the mental tools that actually matter.
Every week, we blend my real-world perspective with my dad's professional coaching wisdom, giving you the playbook for confidence and control.
No hype, just clear steps. Let's roll. Solomon, we're back. This is week number what?
What is it, 5?
It's either 4 or 5. It's pretty amazing, right? We just started and now we're already at week 5.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So today, what I'd like us to talk about is asking for what we want in our life. Now, let me ask you, how often do you ask for what it is that you want in your life?
It kind of depends what it is, but not often enough, I don't think.
That's interesting. You say it depends what it is. What does that mean to you?
Well, if I'm asking you for some money because I'm going to the store versus asking for a new car, there's some difference there.
So based on what the actual item is or thing is that you're asking for, you may feel more comfortable asking for one over the other.
Like the magnitude of how much it's going to affect you or someone else or whoever I'm asking.
Do you think that it's just magnitude that prevents people from asking for what they want?
Oh, I think people sometimes worry about the reaction of other people.
What's an example? Can you think of an example where someone might be afraid to ask because they're going to get some kind of a reaction?
Well, let's say you weren't the generous guy that you are, and I asked you for $20 for whatever reason. You're like, no, get a job, work for that money yourself. And all of a sudden, that's a huge thing that could have been avoided if I didn't ask that question.
Got it. Good point. So it's based on the reaction. So if I'm consistently reacting in a negative way when you're asking a specific question, that would potentially prevent you from asking that question moving forward.
Yeah.
Now, should that prevent you from asking questions moving forward?
No, absolutely not.
Why?
Because it never hurts to ask. That's what you'd always tell me, that it never hurts to ask. Even if you're going to get that reaction 9 times out of 10, that one time, something good could come out of it.
You make a great point. You never know, but we do know one thing. If you don't ask for what you want, what's definitely
You're probably not going to get it. You're not going to get it.
You won't. You're not going to get something that you don't ask for unless just luck comes into play and you just happen to get it. But the chances of that are pretty slim.
Yeah.
How about your friends and different people that you've interacted with? How often are they asking for what they want?
Like I said before, like the little things most people will ask for. Oh, can you pick me this up at the store? Can you do this? Can you do that? But when it comes to really important things, no one really asks.
And again, maybe because of the fear of what will they say if I ask them to do that?
Judgment.
How do you think you get over that? How do you think you get over that fear?
By asking. Keep going, keep asking, don't care what anyone's going to say. And
it's
just make a habit of being able to ask questions.
Exactly. Because if you're constantly asking over and over and over again, what do you get good at?
Asking.
That's right.
And learning how to hear different responses.
And not taking it personally. Is it personal? If you ask me, I want you to buy me a new car, and I say, Solomon, I'm not getting a new car. Is it personal?
Absolutely not. But there are some people who would take it personal.
Yeah, because they're afraid to ask. And if you don't ask, you don't receive. We know that for sure. So if someone is afraid to ask, what would you tell them they should potentially do to get over that?
Keep asking questions and know that the responses are not personal. Unless you're asking a personal question, the responses aren't personal and it's part of life.
Yeah. And like you said, if you just practice doing it, and you can practice with smaller things. If you're not good at asking and you don't ask all the time, you can ask for small things. Can I borrow $1? That's a small thing to ask for. Would you mind when you're at the store, could you grab me that thing? That's a small ask. And if you get good at asking small things, then what do you do after that?
You can build, and eventually, one day, you'll be really good at asking big, important questions.
It's like working out. You don't work out with 100 pounds the first day you get into the gym. What do you do?
Well, if you're working out with 100-pound weights the first day you get in the gym, you have a God-given talent.
It's right. You might be a really big person and 100 isn't a lot, but most people, that 100 is a lot. So you talked about money, asking for money. You talked about a material item like a car, but in a relationship, father, son, mother, daughter, mother, son, how many times do you think people actually ask for what they want on either side of this coin?
I don't think it happens very often.
And why do you think that again? Is it the same
I
reason?
think kids can sometimes get afraid that their parents will judge them or their parents will think a little less of them if they ask for certain things or ask for advice. And I think parents don't want to ask their kids anything because they want to be the ones giving their kids the advice. They don't want to hear it from their kids.
Interesting. And why would it be important for a parent to hear the advice from their kids?
Because they were kids one day, but they don't understand their kids' perspective fully. No one ever will. But it's important that they work to.
And from the kid's perspective, what does that mean to the kid when the adult listens?
It makes the kid feel heard and it makes them feel like their opinion is valued and is important, which it is.
Absolutely, it is. And if the parent doesn't agree with what the kid says,
that's healthy. That's healthy. And they should be able to sit down and discuss that and learn to agree to disagree.
that's right. It's a discussion. Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has their own points of view. But it's okay that we don't always agree on things. But it's like you said, you can have an opinion and agree to disagree. That makes life a lot better, doesn't it?
It does. Yes.
I was talking to someone about this today, and I thought it was really cool. And I'm interested to hear your opinion on this. Okay.
Sure.
There's a statistic that was given at Notre Dame. They did a research study, and this is what it said. They're talking about people who sell for a living. And when you sell, what are you doing all the time?
You're asking a lot of questions.
You're asking. I mean, ultimately, if you want to make a sale, you got to ask for the sale. You got to say, would you like to move forward with this? If you don't ask that, what are the chances they're going to move forward?
Not high.
So here's the statistic, and we can think about this statistic in our own life when we're asking for the thing that we want, because it relates to that as well. Okay, here it is. It says that 44% of salespeople quit trying to sell after the first call. So I make a call to you, Solomon, I'd like you to buy this, and you say no, I would be finished, along with 44% of all salespeople. What are your thoughts on that stat alone? There's more to come, but what do you think?
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
Think about that. It's almost half the salespeople out there will only make that first call. And if they get rejected on that call or don't get the result that they want, it's over.
I don't like, why go into sales if that's what you're going to do? Why? They should teach it in every class, every sales class that you take. Learn how to be rejected. They should teach that.
They should teach it in school too. Wouldn't that be a great thing to learn in school?
Yeah.
You're going to ask for something and you're going to get rejected, and here's how you deal with it. Do they ever teach that in school?
Not to my knowledge. They might somewhere, but I've never.
Right. Most schools, they don't do it. Oh, so here, let's continue on. So 44% are done after that first call. Now, another 24% quit after the second call. So what does that mean? That's 68% of all salespeople quit after the second call. All right. Another 14% quit after the third call. So what's that? 68 and 14 is 82. 82%. So 82% of all salespeople after the third call are finished. And finally, another 12%, which makes it 94% of all salespeople are done after the fourth call. You ready for this?
So do we not have salesmen anymore?
You listen to this. Listen to what I'm about to say. Okay, so let's get this in our mind. 94% of salespeople give up after the fourth call. Here's what it says. 60% of all sales, 60% of all sales are made after the fourth call. And how many people gave up after the fourth call?
82%. 90.
Yeah, 94%.
Wow.
So 84% of the salespeople missed out on 60% of the revenue that they could have gotten. because they stopped asking. What does that teach us about asking?
It teaches us that sometimes we have to wait, and our question might not always be answered the way we want it to be the first time we ask it.
Right. And if we get rejected, then what do?
You try again.
And if you get rejected, what do?
You keep trying.
Yeah, because this statistic tells us that if we don't go at least 5 times asking for what we want, what's going to happen? We're going to miss out on 60% of the yeses.
You're going to miss out.
Don't you believe that also is true for just in life in general? Forget sales, just life.
Yeah, 100%. You look at some successful people, whether they're in sales or not, they were rejected a lot. And I'm not saying if you get rejected, you're going to turn into this person. There's a trend there. There's definitely a trend there.
Yeah. And it's actually a real life statistic. Those are numbers that come from the real world based on salespeople. And we're all selling, aren't we? Think about it. If you want a new whatever it is, you got to sell someone on getting it, especially if you don't have the money.
Yeah.
So what do?
You ask.
That's right. You ask. You ask, because if you don't ask, you're certainly not going to get it. Why is this important for other people to be listening to right now, do you think?
Because a lot of people struggle with asking, and they might give up, like we said, after one time of being rejected, or they might not even ask at all. They might not even ask questions at all.
They might not ask at all. But if they are asking, like you just made a great point, if they are asking, then what?
They have to keep going. Keep
going. This shows just keep asking. And the more we ask, the better we get at it. And the more we ask, what do you think? If you have someone that asks a lot, do you think they would have more than the person that doesn't ask so often?
Yeah, for sure. They become good at asking questions. And when you become good at asking, you're going to get more answers or more results.
That's right. If you don't ask, you won't get the result. So we just want to get into that habit of asking for what we want. How about this? What about when you're at a restaurant, the food comes to the table, it may not be exactly like you want it. Do you ask the server if they could help and take it back and get it the way that you want it, or do you eat it?
Well, you should ask that, because you're paying money to be there, and you don't want to be a pain in the ass. Sorry, but it's part of the experience, and it's bigger than just asking for your food to be cooked longer. It's part of life.
Yeah, 100%. You should ask. But have there been times for you where you've gotten the meal, it wasn't exactly how you wanted it, but you just ate it anyway rather than asking for what you wanted?
Of course, many times.
Same with me. Why do we do that?
Because we're kind of afraid to ask, and we're afraid of the reaction we might get from the person we're asking.
Yeah. But if you ask with kindness, what do you think the chances are the person would get upset with you?
There's no chance, unless that person's having a bad day themselves.
Exactly. But most people would say, of course, let me help you out. No problem. It all comes down to how you ask.
How you ask. You don't want to be an absolute pain when you're asking and demand things. You want to be nice, because that person, you don't know what's going on with them. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You always have to take a pretty mellow approach to those things.
Which is a really good thing. So there's 2 different people. They go up to the server. One says, can you please get the food warmed up as quickly as possible? It's not warm at all. And then the other person says, I'd really appreciate it if you could help me out. This came back. It's just, can you warm it up a little bit? Now, which person's going to get a better response?
The second person, for sure.
Because there's an art to asking also, right? If you want to go out on a date with someone, would you say to them, let's go on a date?
I wouldn't.
Right. I mean, most normal people wouldn't do that. You would walk up to the person, introduce yourself, talk a little bit, and then say, hey, I'm really having a nice conversation with you. Would you like to get together sometime? But
is that what you used to do when you were my age?
Thank you for listening to our conversation today. Your support means the world to us.
Honestly, it does. We started this podcast to share what we're learning about mindset, and knowing that it's helping even one person out there makes it worth every minute.
Hey, we'd be so grateful if you consider supporting the show.
You can visit buymeacoffee.com/mindset1 and treat us to a cup of coffee. Think of it as a small, kind gesture that fuels our future episodes.
Now let's jump back into the conversation. That was my technique. Don't tell too many people about it. Listen, the way that you win in life and the way that you make a lot of friends is just asking them about themselves. We're talking about asking. Ask them questions about themselves. People love to talk about themselves.
They do.
It's just the truth. So if you go up to someone and you're thinking, I'll have nothing to talk to them about, just ask them questions about themselves. Hey, what do you like doing? What hobbies do you have? Or do you like sports? What do you watch? And you just keep asking them questions and questions. And what do you think they're going to do?
They're going to keep answering and answering.
And you know the amazing thing? I've had this happen before where I've asked questions like that. And I ask them over and over, and they're talking for like 45 minutes, all from questions that I've been asking them. You know what they say at the end of the conversation?
What?
They say, that was one of the best conversations I've ever had. And I didn't say a word. We were talking the whole time. But that just goes to show you that people like to talk if you just ask the right questions. And that's the secret to communication. Just ask a lot of questions. Interesting questions. Like, be interested. Don't just ask to ask. Ask because you kind of want to know and you're curious. What are your thoughts on all of that?
No, I like that. And I completely agree. I think some of the best conversations I've ever had is when I'm talking about myself, and some of the best I've ever heard is other people talking about themselves. So
and
that's
they all
all it
come
takes.
from questions, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Questions are super powerful, and you can't get something that you want without asking a question. Because when you ask, it's in the form of a question. So we keep repeating over and over for a reason. Ask, 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 ask. It's because it's a tool that if you learn it at a young age, how would that benefit you as you get older?
Well, pretty much everything you learn from a young age can benefit you as you get older because you have experience. It builds experience doing something from a young age. A kid who learned how to throw a football when he was 4 versus a kid who learned how to throw a football when he was 20. I think the kid who learned when he was 4, I'd take him to be my quarterback. It's the same thing goes here. If I needed someone to ask a very important question for me or to sell something, I'm asking the kid who learned how to ask a question at 4.
Because of all that experience. And we all can get that way just by practicing and getting in the experience ourselves. That's the only way we get better at anything is by practice. I was thinking of when we were talking, I was thinking about asking a girl on a date. I was thinking about this story, and this is really a true story. I remember when I was in college, and there was this girl that would come to the gym, and I thought she was really pretty, and I wanted to ask her on a date. And I was so nervous to do it. Like, I was so nervous. Every time I would go, my friends were there with me. They knew I liked this girl. And yet every time I was there, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then I wouldn't do it. I was afraid to ask because I was afraid, well, what's she going to say? She's not going to want to go out, blah, blah, blah. I made all this stuff up in my head. So one day, my friend's there with me. And then she comes walking and it kind of walks towards the back. And I said, that's it. I'm doing it. And I literally make a beeline over to her. I start talking to her a little bit. And then I asked her at the end, I said, I would love to get together. It turned out that she had a boyfriend, which was fine. But after I was done asking the question, I felt so good. Why do you think I felt so good?
Because you had all that inside of you for however long you did, and you finally got it out.
Yeah, because I did something that was outside of my comfort zone. The result didn't matter. It was the fact of me doing that thing that I was afraid to do. And because I did it, I didn't care. I came back with a huge smile. Like, yeah, I did it. Finally, it had been week after week. I'm saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then I didn't do it. So the whole point to this is what?
Don't be afraid. Ask. Doesn't matter what it is.
Imagine if I would have asked a month sooner, I would have probably gotten the exact same result. But how much effort and energy would I have saved in my mind from just asking for it when I wanted it?
A lot.
See?
A lot of
energy.
energy.
This is what people do. This is what I did. So learn from my mistake. And instead of waiting, just ask. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? All right. So What do you have to say about all of this that we've spoken about so far?
I'll say it for the 50th time. Just ask the question.
Just ask.
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 You'll be okay.
And when someone's afraid to ask, what do?
Just ask.
Yeah.
Don't
And
even
if they're
think
afraid
about
they're
it.
going to get rejected, what do?
You remember that the worst thing out of this is the word no.
That's it. Ask. Just ask. It's so important, even in a relationship, if you're in a relationship with someone and you may not like the way they're behaving, aren't you better off just asking and talking about it rather than not saying anything and just having it in your head all that time?
Yeah.
Ask and you shall receive. Whether
That's
you
right.
believe in the Bible or religion, it's one of the main points of the Bible is ask and you shall receive. It's telling us, what do we need to do, Solomon?
Ask.
That's it. We're just going to ask. So if we want something and we want to ask for advice on something, who do we go and speak to?
My way is only someone you take criticism from.
But let's
someone
say
who's an expert in their field and who has results and proven results and has accomplished what you want to accomplish.
Exactly. Because I could ask a person that has no money for money every single day. And what will my result be?
You're not going to have money.
Right. So I would want to go to someone that has a significant amount of money and ask that person, or a significant amount of knowledge in the area and ask that person. Right.
Yeah.
So it's important to think about, too, who are we asking the right person for the thing that we want in our life?
Definitely.
All right. Any final thoughts before our asking session is over? Just ask. How are you going to practice this now as we move forward?
Well, now I was actually thinking when I'm in class and even when I have a question or something that I need to talk to the professor about, and I even second guess, should I ask that question? I'm just going to ask it.
That's a great practice. That's a great way to practice it. And everyone's had that thing where they're sitting in class, they have a question, they want to ask it. By the way, when you finally ask that question, did you ever notice other people in the class are like, yeah, I had that same question. I was thinking that same thing. And yet all that time we're worried, well, what if I ask it and looks like stupid, etc. But that's a great way to practice it. So for everyone that's listening today, including us, look for a small way that you can just practice. Solomon had a great one, which was, hey, next time I'm in class and I have a thought, I'm going to ask the question no matter what. Me, if I want to ask something of anyone, I'm going to just ask right away, period, the end. I'm just asking. Worst case scenario is not going to work out, period. It's fine. But it did work out. Why does it actually work out when we ask and get rejected?
Because we learn from it.
We learn. And is the asking muscle getting stronger or weaker?
It's getting a lot stronger.
And that's how you build it. You just
gets even stronger when you get the rejected. I think it grows more when you learn how to get rejected.
100%. Because if you do it enough, not everyone's going to reject you. You just got to ask. I remember this guy I went to college. I'm not going to say his name.
Oh.
He wasn't a guy that would be able to go out on dates with a lot of girls.
You better hope he's not listening.
What's that?
You better hope he's not listening.
I don't think he would even know who it was, but because he doesn't see himself like this. But he was always with different girls on dates and had girlfriends. Why do you think that was the case?
Because he was confident and he knew how to ask.
He always asked. He would go up to girls and just then talk to them and then ask them out. And some would say no and others would say yes, but he always asked, as opposed to the other people who sit there and they see that person across the room and they're like, oh, I should say something, but then they don't do it. And then nothing ever comes of it.
Right.
All right. On that note, our final message, mine to you all, just practice. That's the way we're going to get better at this. Are we experts? No, we just practice and get better at it. Solomon, how do you want to end this?
Similar to what you said, keep practicing. Ask those questions. Don't second guess yourself. Just ask. Everything will be okay. I promise.
Amen. On that, have a wonderful week. We will see you. And by the way, if this is something that you think will help someone else, send it to them because maybe you'll help them ask. And when they're asking, they'll get what they want. So you could actually help them get what they want. Have an amazing day. We'll see you next week. That brings us to the end of the conversation today. We truly hope you leave here with a few new tools for your mindset toolbox.
If anything we talked about today, from challenging your beliefs to taking that 1% step, resonated with you, we'd love for you to share it.
Our goal is to bridge the gap between generations. If you know a young adult who's struggling with self-doubt or a parent who could use a fresh perspective, please share this episode with them.
You never know which simple questions or ideas might change someone's entire week or even their whole outlook.
You can find our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you again for being a part of our mindset community. We'll see you next time.